Do you mind?
Oh, sorry. Just feeling chipper. Not because you're about to have your asses handed to you now. Just chipper.
Still a dick, and I'm okay with it. Howdy all, I am Adam the Renaissance Nerd, and welcome to my review of Picard Season 3, Episode 5, Imposters. Bottom line, this episode is made to grab you by the feels and tug on your TNG heartstrings. That's what this episode is supposed to do, and you know what? It freaking does it. Once more, Terry Matalas shows me that he cares about tying up old TNG plot lines, giving some solid conclusions that we thought we were never going to get, or was done in books in subpar way. I'm not going to spoil it quite yet. We're going to get to it, because I want you to feel the effect that I had when it happened. What do we got? We got the events of now the escape from the Shrike are going to fall. We got the fallout, basically. It's fallout. Changelings are among us. There's a conspiracy going on. We get back to some Worf and Raffi, who is still the worst part of this. And we get some great character interaction. The heart of this episode, and I say heart, literally, the heart, the soul of this episode is in one particular interaction between two characters that I didn't think were ever going to come face to face again. What we get out of it is powerful, especially if you love Star Trek The Next Generation and you love all the arcs and all the characters and you appreciate some closure to something. At the same time, we starting to get some questions answered about the changelings, but yet more questions about Jack. What is going on with Jack? Something crazy is going on with Jack, so much so that he basically turns into Jason Bourne at one point. We're going to get there, don't worry. And I got to say I was wrong. We are not leaving the Titan. Last week I said, I guess we're done with the Titan. No, we are not done with the Titan. The Titan is our ship for this season. It is. At this point, we're on the Titan. We're not going anywhere. Let's just get started. I want to get to the good stuff. We're going to start with the Worf and Raffi B plot, which can be condensed really quickly because I do not, as with last week, I do not want to break from the important interaction, the important relationship closure we're going to get. Just as like last week, I didn't want to break from Picard and Jack's interaction, their conversation, their important father-son meeting. I don't want to break away from what's going to happen here because it's very important, not only for character development, but for the story. I don't want to ruin the flow of when I'm talking about it and breaking it down. So we're just going to go over Worf and Raffi real quick. Even though they do connect to the story at the end of it, I can just mention when we get there. It's fine. Let's do it.
Klingons never disappoint.
More specifically, Worf never disappoints. Even when saddled with Raffi, Worf is still Worf. Simply put, this mini arc here, this mini plot, is dealing with the fallout that they are trying to get to the Daystrom Institute, but they are denied. It opens with them doing a training session, and Worf completely owning Raffi, doing so much as to have that moment where he's doing the classic master moment. He's got one hand behind his back, and he's just one-handed with the sword going, donk, 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 you can't beat me, I am Worf, kiss my ass. Worf defeats her soundly. She's thinking, I got this. No, Worf is just, he's toying with you. He's Worf. You're not going to beat a Batleth master. Not going to beat a real warrior. They get a little chime. They are told that they are denied access to Daystrom. You need special permission, a special key card, whatever, to get into the advanced AI of Daystrom. But they're denied. Worf's handler, who we will find out who that is very soon, says, find another way. Well, Worf decides that they need to go and deal with another bit of the underworld on Matalis. On Matalis, since they killed the Ferengi a couple episodes ago, they have no lead, so they have to go to that. So they have to bring out of hiding some unknown underworld thug called Kryn. They go to do that. Everybody runs in terror because, as Worf says, since we killed the Ferengi, we are the new alphas of District, whatever it is, 6, 9, I don't remember. Meanwhile, Raffi just does something stupid. She fires off a phaser and goes, "We're the badasses here! Bring us Kryn! Bring us information!" It's just shut up. You are the only bad thing in this. Your dialogue is cringe, you're cringe. Not the actress. I've seen her in plenty of things over the years. She's perfectly fine. The character of Raffi is cringe and terrible, and I guess this is the best they can do with her. She's horrible. Worf then just decides to kneel and meditate, says, let's just wait. Let's just wait and let nature take its course. Let the natural selection of the District reassert itself. Eventually it does. They get ambushed, surrounded by Kryn and his thugs. Kryn turns out to be a Vulcan, played by the guy who played Ramsey from 12 Monkeys, another 12 Monkeys alum being brought in. Does fine. A Vulcan who is a crime lord. And when questioned, he says, no utopia can exist without organized crime to balance things out. It's perfectly logical. Fine, I accept that. He thinks they have the drop on him. He tries to get the drop on them by catching the fact that they had Raffi with a portable holo emitter. I guess that's a thing now from the Voyager stuff. That's widespread use technology. Portable holo emitter. They get Worf and Raffi surrounded. He wants to make them have a fight to the death for his amusement and his thugs' amusement. They agree to it. Worf and Raffi have a little quick fight. Basically, it's kind of the whole theme of this is Worf is the teacher here, and he's teaching her a lesson, teaching us a lesson. Use your enemy's weaknesses against them. Raffi thinks that Worf's weakness is he talks too much. Worf tells her she's too stubborn, too reckless, this and that. This is all about using Kryn's weakness against him, his logic and his arrogance, his logic that there is no way for them to escape. So what does it do? Worf lets Raffi get a kill shot on him. Even says, "I guess today was a good day to die." Ugh. Fake dies. You know Worf isn't dead. There was no shock there. I'm sitting here, and I'm thinking, yeah, Worf's not dead. Worf's not dead. He's not dead, and he isn't dead. As Kryn tries to put Raffi under his thumb, get her to work for him, Worf then reemerges, kills everybody in a matter of seconds, and as you saw in the clip, puts the knife up against him, says, "Klingons never disappoint," because that was the thing. When they agreed to fight, Worf immediately goes, "Okay, I'm going to fight," and Kryn goes, "Klingons never disappoint." No, Worf never disappoints. They get the information from Kryn that he was the one who facilitated the break-in to the Daystrom Institute using a special device that tricks the AI. That's it. They got it. They're going to get it. And now they're off, and we'll come back to Worf later on in the episode. Now let's get to the meat. Let's go get to the goings-on back at Titan.
Jean-Luc, I don't think this is over yet. Not by a long shot. Somehow, a changeling bypassed the ship's internal security system. I want to know how. I would like permission to examine the changeling's body.
Do it.
Everything that goes on with Titan in this episode, fascinating. Fascinating, interesting. I want more from everything. I want more from Jack. I want more of the mystery surrounding the changelings. I want more of the interactions from all these characters. I'm hooked. I am really hooked at this. This first section here is basically set up. We're going to get in the first few minutes of Titan. We get all the plot arcs of Titan are going to be set up. Problem with Jack. Beverly researching the changeling corpse that they have. And the interrogation of Picard by a surprise guest. What's happening? Let's get right to it. We start the episode. This is the beginning of the episode now. You're on the bridge of the Titan, and you're getting this made me smile as it zooms in or zooms out. You hear the classic noises of a bridge from TOS. You know, I can't mimic it myself, but you hear all the good stuff and you smile. I smiled. I felt good. What you see now is the Titan bridge crew going about their business. Then Jack walks in a uniform. And when asked what's doing there, says nothing, just ganks everybody. Right away, you got to think this can't be real. Of course it isn't real. It's a nightmare. Jack's having a nightmare, pretty vicious nightmare where he has killed everybody on the bridge crew with zero emotion. Almost Data-like emotion. I don't know. I just threw that in there. I don't know. He wakes up. Clearly it was a nightmare, but he's standing in the middle of his quarters holding a phaser. Drops it. Starts to see the red blotches, hear the voices, come find me, find the root, that kind of creepy shit. Then we get a zoom in and his eyes are freaking glowing red. Jack is connected to something. What it is, we still don't know at the end of this episode. Although we do learn a little bit more about it in terms of that this isn't something new with him. We'll get to it. Meanwhile, we cut to classic Star Trek introduction moment. Captain Riker, Captain's log. The Titan is undergoing repairs, having escaped the Shrike. We're getting ready to be met by Starfleet, and we'll be escorted back into the Alpha Quadrant. They're on the edge of the Alpha Quadrant. And it's cool. It's a cool moment. That's what you want to hear, Captain's log. Hearing it from Riker for the first time is pretty cool. I found it cool. Never heard it before. First time ever, Captain's log from Will Riker. I like it. We cut to the ready room. After we get a nice shot of basically the crew all over Titan making repairs. I dig it. I like it. Makes us feel very integrated to the ship now. We're getting more and more attached to the Titan. Cut to the ready room. We've got Picard. We got Riker. We got Seven. We got Shaw. They're basically strategizing what's going to happen next. They got to call Starfleet to get not a tow, but to get a safe passage deeper into the Alpha Quadrant. And hopefully get some answers and alert them to the changeling problem. Riker transfers command back to Shaw, while he and Picard are saying, hopefully our reputations will get us a little leniency with the whole taking of Titan in the shuttle and all that stuff. Shaw, as soon as has command again in his precious asshole-ish manner, goes, I've already called Starfleet. And they're coming. They'll be here any minute now. Turns to Seven. Commander, would you like to be reinstated now or after your court-martial, basically? She just deadpan says, just do it now. He knights her. You are reinstated. It's funny. He's an asshole. He's a dick. And it's great. Even though they all went through an awesome scene, awesome moments last episode where they all worked together to get out of their jam, Shaw's character is still Shaw's character. He doesn't like them. He may have come to an understanding with them, but he doesn't like them. They're all dick. They all suck to him, and he's gonna be a dick because that's his character. He's not suddenly gonna change. It's his character. It's established. We like it. He's happy. He runs away. Now they're all Picard and Riker going, oh shit. Oh well, fine. Here it comes. Picard exits the ready room, runs into Beverly and Jack, lets them know what's happening. But as you saw in my transition clip, Beverly's not happy. Beverly is worried. She is concerned. How did a changeling bypass all the security measures that were implemented during the Dominion War? As I mentioned last episode, one of the traditional ways to basically flush out a changeling is to take a blood sample, because when any part of a changeling is separated from the main body, it reverts to changeling goo. Apparently not. Apparently not. The rules have changed, my friends. Picard gives her permission, go do it. She's heading off to sickbay to do her Beverly thing. Jack and Picard are left alone. Picard says, listen, maybe you want to think about joining Starfleet once we're back in Federation space. A lot of people have turned their lives around. What we have to understand here is Jack, when he replies to him, no, I need to get out of here. When we are free to leave, I'm gone. It's not so much that he's rejecting his father's legacy as a Starfleet officer. Jack is very unsettled right now from that nightmare, and as we're going to see from the rest of the episode, There's a lot going wrong. He wants to get out of there. There's certain things maybe forcing him to want to leave. And he's also, he's scared. He's frightened. Not only of what might happen, but what he might do. We'll get back to that. Here's the good stuff, though, now. Here we go. The Intrepid, the USS Intrepid arrives. Comes out of warp, get a nice little menacing face-off between the Titan and the Intrepid. Right away, you feel the tension. The Intrepid is not there as a friend. It comes in saying, stand down, Titan. You're going to come into our custody. We're sending a security team over. That's not right. To make it even more not right, they're coming over via shuttle. They're not going to use transporters. Again, red flags, alarm. We're there, but there's nothing they can do. The shuttle's coming over. The Titan's in no position for a fight. They can barely do anything except maybe fly. They have to let it go. So the shuttle with the security team is coming over. Their commander is demanding that they want to speak with Picard and Riker. And then you get that intro clip I showed you of Shaw being a complete dick in the turbo lift. Riker says, we've saved the galaxy a few times. I think it's going to count for something. And Shaw lists some of their moments, including movie moments, that show that Picard and Riker and the crew of the Enterprise have a tendency sometimes to, in their attempts to save the galaxy, sometimes be the cause of the problem. I.e., he references all good things and the time the time displacement, the time distortion. They joke about it, move on. Now we get to, this is the most important thing in this episode right here. What's going to happen next? The security officer who's going to do the interrogation. I knew it was going to be somebody important. Somebody that we haven't seen for a long time. Somebody that is a part of Star Trek lore. It had to be somebody part of Next Generation lore. Had to be somebody important. I just did not expect it to be...
Ro Laren.
Ro Laren. I did not expect them to get Michelle Forbes to come back as Ro Laren. I did not expect that. Michelle Forbes also still looking high and tight. Yeah. All serious though, this... I was shocked. I as I just said, I knew it was going to be somebody important to Star Trek TNG lore. I didn't know they were going to break out Ro. And here's the fascinating thing. You would think they might go the Ro Riker line since they had a sort of a thing. Yes, they did sleep together. They did sleep together, but they had their memories wonky at the time. No, they choose to go with the Ro-Picard relationship in this. They really wanted to, they replayed into it, and it worked. It worked really, really well on an emotional standpoint. This, they grabbed me by the feels, and they did not let go as soon as they all came into contact. We'll really get into it in a moment. I gotta be careful how I go about this. I want to choose the moment to really talk about it. So we'll stick to the episode. Ro comes down. Shock is there. She's all business. Says to them, you are now under my jurisdiction. I work for Starfleet Intelligence. As you can see, she got the 3 pips. Full bird commander. No longer just a lieutenant. And of course, now you're questioning, is this Ro Laren? Or do we have a changeling on our hands? Informs them, I'm going to speak to each of you individually. I'm going to start with Admiral Picard. You all can just go now. Wait. Also now, my security team is going to look for Jack Crusher. Prior to this moment, Picard said to Seven, go get Jack, hide him. Go hide him until we know what's going on. And Seven does and gives him a red-shouldered uniform. And now Jack is freaking out because his nightmare is coming true. He's going to be in a uniform and he may gank some people. Meanwhile, back at sick bay, Beverly has begun her autopsy of the changeling. And a little amusing scene with Sidney LaForge there. Basically starts out going, Instant LaForge, can you confirm that this is indeed not your body? Sidney pukes. Off camera. You hear it in all its glory. And that's funny. See, that's nice little lowbrow toilet humor, but it's funny because you don't see it. You just hear it. Hearing it is the funny part, not seeing it. They understand how to use toilet humor properly here. Beverly and the Titan chief medical officer begin their autopsy, and we're going to get to some very important stuff in a few moments. In fact, you know what? I'll cut to it right now because we're going to intersplice it in with what's going on. Change my mind. They quickly discover, as the autopsy begins, that there's blood within the changeling. Blood and organs. Blood and organs. And that until you do an in-depth dissection and separate them from the body and really dig in, it will the blood and the organs will not revert to changeling goo. Game changer. How do you spot a changeling if they can do this? The chief medical officer says, this is impossible. Since when can they do this? Beverly simply says, it's not impossible. They've just evolved. It explains the questions I asked last episode. When Vadic cuts her hand off and creates, I guess we'll still call it a subspace connection to the new Link or her boss, her changeling boss, they've evolved. These changelings that have cut themselves off from the Great Link have evolved, and they are now more dangerous than ever because they are undetectable. They're undetectable now. We'll come back to that in a minute. We go to, I don't know where it is. Doesn't make it clear it's the ready room. Either way, maybe it's the ready room or not. Ro and Picard are face to face. And you get the beginning of their exchange. This is round one. They're both very angry at each other. Picard, before she comes in there, we have Picard and Riker sitting down. And Picard is outraged. He's outraged. How can she be back in Starfleet after the betrayal when she sided with the Maquis back in season 6 of TNG? It was season 6. I'm pretty sure it was season 6. How can she be back? Or was it 5? 5 or 6, I forget. Whenever DS9 started, and Voyager started, whenever that stuff started, she became Maquis. Remember that arc? She's been training for extra Starfleet security. She's been promoted to full lieutenant. And Picard has been helping her along, putting all his faith in her. And then he sends her undercover to infiltrate the Maquis, who are now being terrorists during the whole Cardassian occupation in Bajor, all that stuff. And she betrays the Federation. She turns on Picard, and she goes to the Maquis and becomes a terrorist. It cut him deep. And now we see how deep. He's outraged. He cannot fathom how she is back in. And now the question is it her? Is it her? Riker keeps saying, listen, you gotta be calm. You gotta deal with this calmly. Riker's barely in this episode, which is fine. We got all the Riker we needed. We got all the Riker character development last episode. That was his stuff. Now he's just kind of there, off. He's facilitating scenes at this point in this episode. So you got to be careful. Just take it easy. It's been 30 years. Try not to be so angry. Picard's on here, and he's outraged. Ro comes in and says, I'm going to talk to the Admiral alone. Riker, get out of here. Now, of course, the whole time I watch this, I'm thinking, Riker had sex with you. Riker had sex with you. Riker had sex with you. That's all I'm thinking because I'm a child. Anyway, now we get the interaction. Ro and Picard they go at each other right away, accusing each other. How dare you? No, how dare you? Don't you look at me like that. Don't you talk to me like that. How are you in Starfleet? How did you get back in Starfleet? How are you going to talk to me with your self-righteous manner, old man? And it's just back and forth, back and forth. They're not telling each other anything. She demands to know about the changelings. Picard says, we don't know nothing. We killed it. We got nothing. And in the middle of it, get a little communique from sickbay. under the guise, Ro lets it happen. Beverly, smart enough to talk in code, tells Picard, your medical results on your medical condition are available. Would you like to take a look? Picard says, "Oh, yes, please." He goes over to the console, and then you see, boop, changelings can pass all security checks. Trust no one. Now Picard turns around. Now during this moment, Ro had cut her hand to show you, look, I bleed. No changeling here. Now that's pointless. Picard doesn't trust her. She says, okay, fine. If you don't want to talk about the changelings, let's go to sickbay and talk to the doctors who are doing the autopsy. Picard says, fine, let's go to sickbay. On the way there, she says, no, hang on a second. We're not going to do this. Pulls a gun on him. Pulls a phaser on him. Let's go to the holodeck. Oh, we're going to go back to guidance thing. But during that period of time, we get a Jack moment. That's why I want to cut to this, because it's the flow of the episode anyway, but I don't want to interrupt what comes next. We get a Jack moment where he is now trying to get off the Titan. He thinks, I'm just getting on the Intrepid. Get out of here. Walks into the transporter room, because apparently now Ro is ordering most of Titan's crew to be transported to the Intrepid, and they'll be escorted back to Federation space. It seems Jack wants to hitch a ride, but then he pauses because suddenly he has a mental, I don't know what to call this, of everybody in the transporter being consumed by the red blotchy root stuff. And they're all screaming and his eyes are glowing again and he's freaking out. Then we get this poor schlub right here asking him, is something wrong? Have you been ordered to transfer to the Intrepid? Jack says, no, but is there any place else I can go? Anywhere at all? Poor schlub says no. So Jack shoots him. No, Jack doesn't shoot him. It's another hallucination. Jack mutters something and just leaves. Jack is being pushed by this unknown force, this voice that keeps telling him, find the route, return to us, find us. We'll come back to Jack. Here we go. Ro dismisses her security guards. Remember her two security officers, remember them. They're off looking for Jack. Just remember these two. They're already shady. Ro and Picard head into the holodeck, into Guinan's bar. This is just part of the emotion that you're going to get out of this.
If I meant so much, you would have understood.
You broke my heart.
And she broke mine.
I did not expect this. And I didn't expect it to be as powerful and have the reaction I did. Because this is a storyline that I haven't thought about in a very long time. Ro's defection to the Maquis. Her relationship with Picard. That she saw him, or he saw her, as a diamond in the rough that could be polished into a great Starfleet officer. I didn't realize it was this powerful, and they really bring it about. And as I said, Terry Matalas is bringing closure to a storyline that was forgotten. After Ro went off to the Maquis, and after the Maquis were disbanded, we never heard of her again. I mean, during DS9, at the beginning of Voyager, when the Maquis are all being arrested and this and that and hunted down, I mean, Voyager's initial mission, hunt down Maquis. When they were done and arrested, we never heard from Ro again. So this is tying up something that, you know what, I didn't realize needed to be tied up. I didn't realize it. And now I'm glad it's done because there was a lot of emotion in this. And it grabbed me, and I'm thinking about TNG, and I'm thinking about all this stuff, and I'm thinking, man, this is great. I'm enjoying this, because what we have here are two people who didn't know how much one really meant to the other. Skewed perceptions of how they really felt about it. misunderstandings. Bottom line, this is an emotional moment that is the only way you can flush out a changeling. Because since blood test doesn't work anymore, only way you can flush out a changeling is to dig into the memories that they wouldn't have access to. With phasers pointed at each other, that's what Picard and Ro do. They go down this very painful road of emotion and heartbreak. Not romantic heartbreak, but familial heartbreak, but friendship heartbreak. Replacement father, replacement daughter heartbreak. Bonds. And they begin yelling at each other. Picard accuses her of breaking, of destroying, of ruining everything he had planned for her. Of betraying the traditions of Starfleet, what he believed in. She turns it right back on him. You didn't believe enough in me to understand that I wanted to be more than just an officer, that when I found something important that spoke to me, like the resistance to the Cardassian occupation, the Maquis, I turned my back on you, you turned your back on me, you didn't really see me, all you saw was a perfect little dress-up doll to make a perfect Starfleet officer out of. And they go at each other like that, back and forth, until you see that clip right there, where then it's very real. You broke my heart. You broke my heart because I put so much faith in you. And you didn't trust me to come to me with this. And you broke my heart because you didn't see me. You didn't really try and get to know me. At least not beyond the surface level. You can see the emotion. And then Picard says, well, thanks to all this pain we've just shared, we know we are who we say we are. Phasers are down. Ro removes the intelligence officer mask. Jean-Luc, I need your help. Starfleet is compromised. Changelings are everywhere. I don't have hard evidence, but I've been putting together. Then when we come back, then that's why I wanted to talk with this now and not break from the scene. There, we're still in the holodeck. They're now close, sitting together, conversing. She said she explains to him, I've been tracing all these movements. This Federation Day, all these people, there have been changeling incidents all over the place that Starfleet is hiding from the general public, from the general fleet operations. Something's happening. She tells him about the attack on the recruitment center and refers to Worf and Raffi as her agents trying to uncover all the technology has been stolen. They're really close to finding the piece, i.e. Worf and Raffi part now getting close to Daystrom and finding out what the changelings took. Picard says, listen, I understand there's got to be a problem, but do you have any evidence? She says, no, but I have all these pieces and all these red flags, and I need your help. You're the only one I can trust right now. She reveals that they're after Jack for some reason. She doesn't know why. It's all out there, and this is raw. And you're fresh off the emotion of their exchange, and she's desperate. And she tells him, once they're finished in holodeck, they're leaving. And as she's confronted by her security team, she says, hold on a second. One moment. Takes Picard aside and says, listen, you gotta take Titan. You gotta get the hell out of here. I've transferred everybody off except the main people who I think are trustworthy for you. You gotta run. You can't trust Starfleet. They're all the way up into Starfleet Command. You've got to find out what's going on. You got to get to my people. Picard says, no, what are you doing? Ro, no, you can't do this. Just no, I'm going to go back on Intrepid, get you time to escape. And then she grabs his hand. She puts something in there, and in a minute we'll find out what it is. Turns around, she's crying at this point too. She's tearful, and she says to him, "I wish." Here it is. I'll just play it for you.
All these years, I wish you'd known me. And that I'd known you. Goodbye, Admiral.
That whole concept of what could have been, the regrets, that they have now come to that understanding that they really wanted to be in each other's lives, as mentor-mentee, as friends, comrades. And you can see right there, I don't know how to really put it. You must really watch the scene to fully grasp it. The words are failing me right now, honestly, because I'm grabbed by the emotion. The feels still have me of the regret and the bittersweet knowledge of, I still respect you so much. I still think so highly of you, and I can see that you think highly of me, and we could have been so much more. Again, not in a romantic sense, but in a sort of relationship where it bridges family and professionalism. And it's, do you understand what I'm trying to convey to you? And you feel it right there, her regret, and what she placed in his hand. And they talked about it during their heated discussion, what a Bajoran earring means. In this case, it's going to be twofold. One, that it represents her faith in her people and her family, and it's a part of, it shows who and what she is. Just that earring represents so much to a Bajoran. And she placed, not her original earring, because that's definitely not it, but I guess her current Bajoran earring in his hand. And he sees it there. And she says goodbye. And right here, you know that this is goodbye. What's going to happen next, you see coming. And as it's happening, I'm going, no, I don't want this. But you know why it's important? What happens next is important because it sets stakes. It imparts the knowledge that shit's going to go down. This is not a safe story. There are threats out there, and named characters, not NPCs, named characters can die. Ro's intention was to buy them time to escape, but not in this way. She gets back on board the shuttle, and immediately those two sketchy security officers plant, you could see it in the hand, explosive device, floor of the shuttle. They teleport off. They teleport back onto the Titan, and as they do that, they shift. Boom, two more changelings. They're back on Titan looking for Jack. Ro can't disarm the device. Everybody back on the bridge. Picard is trying to tell Shaw and everybody, we got to get out of here. There are changelings everywhere. We are not safe. There's nothing. Shaw, of course, still the company man in terms of I follow the rules, saying, what are you talking about? We can't just run. You want me to go on the run? You want me to turn my ship, my crew into fugitives? Are you crazy? And as they're still debating this, communication from Ro. Hey, guys. Yeah, my security team were changelings. They've transported back onto your ship. There's a bomb on my ship. I can't disarm it. I'm sorry. I wish we could have had more time. They're saying, Ro, get back here. We can maybe teleport you off or transport you off. No, there's an inhibitor. No time. I'm going to buy you the best time I can because the Intrepid is infiltrated. There are more changelings on board, and you know there are because in a few moments we're going to see more. And what does Ro do? She says goodbye, and I'm going, no, don't do it. I know it's going to happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. She flies the shuttlecraft near one of the warp nacelles of the Intrepid as the bomb goes off, damaging the Intrepid, making sure it cannot pursue. Ro is dead. Ro Laren is dead. And I'm sad. I was going, no! No, we had all this great breakthrough, this character connection with Picard again, and she's dead. But stakes are important. This matters. People gonna die. Issa people gonna die. People dead. Ro is dead. It's gonna make watching TNG, watching it again, it's gonna make it rough knowing her fate now. She's dead, and it sucks. But she buys the Titan time. Shaw snaps into professional mode, says, okay, we're out of here. Let's get Warp Core online. Let's get going. Because the Intrepid, as Riker says, or I think it was either Seven or Riker, I forget during the scene, Intrepid's locking weapons, phasers and torpedoes. And they're going, Shaw's like, what are they doing? They want to blame Ro's death on the Titan. They want to frame them for her death. A commander in Starfleet intelligence murdered by the Titan A and her crew of fugitives. No choice. Let's do it. Meanwhile, Jack is running around decks while the alarm's going off. He gets confronted by the first two changelings, and two more teleport in. So now Jack is face to face with 4 armed changelings. Well, I didn't see this coming either. Jack basically goes Jason Bourne on their asses. The changelings try to take him. You're coming with us. Something snaps. You see he goes into this internal vision of red flashing, the voice is that, and then a door opens in his mind. And then you saw it. He goes Jason Bourne on them. Takes out 4 changelings. Remember, changelings they've got a certain level of mega strength. They are very strong and not easy to take down. He owns them. Lightning fast reflexes. Boom, 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 boom. And mercilessly, without emotion, as we saw in his nightmare, gank, 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 gankity, gank, gank. Cool. Jack is not to be messed with. The problem is, that's not necessarily Jack. That's something else inside of Jack. As he looks up, he keeps hearing the voices. He hallucinates in the doorway. The hatch at the other end, the door at the end, transforms from a regular ship door to a red door. And the voices and the root splotches are everywhere. And then he snaps back, and we're done. Meanwhile, on the bridge, it's let's get the hell out of here time. Intrepid is powering up, locks on photon torpedoes, warp core ready to go. Titan easily escapes because Titan's not crippled anymore. This isn't against the Shrike where she's crippled. Titan gets the hell out of there. But now, we're on the run. As I said, I was wrong last episode. I thought, we're going to be done with Titan. We're going to be handing her in for another ship. No, we are on the Titan on the run. We get a couple of different moments here. We get Picard and Riker, and we get Beverly and Jack. Picard and Riker are important because it's now the complete closure to Ro. Riker Picard's sitting there talking about how she sacrificed herself, the ultimate sacrifice to give us time, because Starfleet is compromised at its highest levels, and she's leaving it to them to finish this. And when Picard says, "Here, she gave me her earring," Riker, who maybe a little more on the ball than the old man, says, this is more than just your earring. Old school spycraft. Touches it, boom, all her data, all her research on the changeling infiltration. You realize now this is huge. It's huge because this was the ultimate fear of the Dominion War. This is the ultimate fear that the founders themselves during DS9 said, people were always afraid of us, that we would do this, do that. Well, they've done it. They've done it. This radical faction of the founders, they've done it. They have completely infiltrated Starfleet to the highest levels. Picard and Riker are looking over information, but then little communication happens, and Guess who? Boom! Worf! Ro was Worf's handler in Starfleet Intelligence. And Worf is surprised. He goes, Admiral, Captain, Mr. Worf, what are you doing there? They realize that they're now all working on the same project. So now we're going to get Worf back in the crew. And unfortunately, Raffi's going to be along as well, which means we're going to get some stuff that we don't want to see probably. But hey, we'll pretend it doesn't happen when it does. Either way, now we've got the pieces are coming together. We're probably heading to Daystrom next episode because Worf and Raffi have their way in and Titan's on the run. Either way, that's happening. That's probably happening next episode. But before that, we have one last moment. Jack is in sickbay, seeing his mother. Being a good mom, Beverly realizes there's something wrong with her boy. Says, you're not sleeping. I can see it. You get a certain look. Your eyes get sunken. You don't look right. You don't sound right. I know. And he goes, how do you know? Well, she says. Now, this is where I said earlier in the review that was happening to Jack. These visions have happened before, but he doesn't remember. Beverly recounts for us when he was a kid, he went through a period of time where he was having nightmares and he wouldn't sleep. And he got through it then, and they'll get through it now. So this isn't something that's just happened. Jack has been connected to these voices his entire life. And Beverly, we thought Beverly might know something. No, apparently she doesn't know anything. Because she looks scared to death as he's crying. He's crying. He's scared because he's not only scared for himself. From his nightmares. He knows whatever this is, this thing, this survival thing will take over. He will kill, not of his own accord. Because she asks him, "How did you know all those security officers were changelings?" I didn't. He just killed on instinct. Something took over. There's something else inside Jack that is a protective mechanism to make sure he finds the source of these roots and gets back to them. And the final line, I think there's something very wrong with me. And that is a man who's not only afraid for himself, but afraid what he might do to others. So you see, back earlier, he didn't reject Picard's offer to join Starfleet because he rejects Starfleet. He's rejecting it because he wants to run away because he's afraid of what he might do to innocent people. Because when he goes into Jason Bourne mode, it doesn't matter. You could be friend or foe. If you're in his way, he might just kill you. Episode. Damn it! I want more.
I think there's something very wrong with me.
This is the moment where I kind of hate the fact that I'm doing a review. Because if I wasn't doing a review, I'd just be letting these stack up for a marathon watch, for a binge watch, when it was all done. Therefore, I wouldn't have to wait. Now I gotta wait to find out what happens week to week, and I hate that. Unlike other people, I don't enjoy waiting every week for this suspense and what's gonna happen. No, I want to know now. But I can't know now. This is good stuff, guys. Again, if you are checked out, that's fine. That's fine. But if you want to have some fun, this is great. Changelings, as I said, this is the ultimate fear of what changelings can do. And now these are evolved changelings. Unless you can dig into them, get them trapped in a memory conversation, there's no way you can know right now. Hopefully, they're probably going to find some workaround to figure out who or what is a changeling. But at the moment, not happening. Too dangerous. There might still be a changeling on the Titan. I doubt it. But there are changelings all over the place. Ro at one point says, why do you think they have the entire fleet out there for Federation Day? The entire fleet has been deployed. Something horrible is going to come. And the key is whatever they took from Daystrom that isn't the portal tech. What's going to happen next week? We're heading to Daystrom. We have 5 episodes left. We're still waiting on Geordi. We're still waiting on Spiner, who's going to either be playing a version of Data or maybe Lore, maybe B4. Who knows? We know other things are yet to come. I want this to happen now. I want to know what's going on with Jack. What is he connected to? I am enjoying all these character relationships that are happening. Terry Matalas is, again, finishing plot lines that sometimes, like with the Ro Picard thing, we didn't know we wanted to finish. I didn't know I wanted it finished, and now it's been finished. Bittersweet, but finished. I'm strapped in. Let's keep going. What's going to happen next? I got no idea, but I can't wait. Worf is going to I can't wait till Worf gets on the board, the team. Raffi will be there too. Raffi's the only bad thing in all of this. Everything around Raffi is terrible. It is. But fortunately, that's only a small percentage. There's still so much good stuff out there, and I can't wait for it. I'll be back next week, episode 6. Until then, if you're new here, check out the channel, subscribe, hit that like button if you had a good time today, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, @theranernerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.